This week on 3D Printed Soup, a new printer for a new year. It's build and test time. That's right after this. Hello fellow makers and welcome back to 3D Printed Soup. It's been a hot minute since I actually reviewed a 3D printer, built one or did some tests on a brand new one. So I thought, hey, let's kick the new year off with something good. So I thought, hey, the last few years I've been using nothing but rectilinear printers, or as some people call them, Cartesian. They're the ones that go left, right, forward, back, up and down, you know, X, Y, Z, etc. But I thought, hey, Delta printers look fun. They're the ones with the three arms that come off the side rails and have a hot end right in the middle and moves around on a fixed base. And yeah, they look cool. And I've been told by everyone, oh, don't get those. They're complicated. Oh, they're not for the beginners. Well, I don't think I'm a beginner, so I went out and bought one, and I absolutely enjoyed every last second of building it and testing it. And of course, I filmed it. So let's jump in straight away and build and test my wonderful new FLsun QQS. It's not the QQS Pro, but I thought, hey, if I'm going to dive into Deltas, I want to start off with the standard model. If I like this one, I'm going to get other ones anyway. So without further ado, let's get on with some building, some printing and some testing. Don't forget to like and subscribe, click the bell button. It doesn't make a noise, but hey, it really should make a noise. Why don't they make it go ding when you click it? I'd so be clicking that button all the time. You should too. Also, click the subscribe button. Down, off to the right. You see it there, everyone? To subscribe, give that a click. Welcome to the new home of Delta Printing. Or at least, my new home of Delta Printing. You may have other homes. That's none of my business. Now, let's go ahead and get some printing done. Okay, so here we go. We have an intriguing box. And, okay, let's get the outer one off first. And let's have a look inside. Well, it looks well packed. There is black packaging tape everywhere, as is the style in China. And, okay, we've got a quick start guide by the look of it. Oh no, this is how to maintenance it. That might be jumping the gun. We'll have a look at that later on, and once I've actually built the thing, and then we can get onto maintenancing the thing later on. So, what is under the big plastic? Oh, what a lovely noise. The big sort of plastic expanded polystyrene top. Ah, sticky plastic. Chuck that over there. And here we are. Alright, first things first, let's tear off this not bubble wrap, it just looks like regular polythene. We got a power cable. Chuck that over there carefully. Another power cable. That's the UK power cable, so that's one I'll be using. And some cutters, some Allen keys, and a wrench. Oh, I do like an unboxing. These are always good fun. What is this? Oh, it is more tools and some extra bits and pieces. A bottle of grease, a spare hot end, what looks like a USB stick, and a temperature probe. Hopefully these are spares and I don't actually have to install and solder these, because my soldering skills are average, I'd say. I can do it, I just don't enjoy it. Oh, what's that? Oh, a spatula. Everyone likes a sharpened spatula. The instruction booklet. Look at that. RTFM. Absolutely no recyclable packaging material in here. It's all expanded polystyrene and bubble wrap. Oh, well, at least there's no packaging peanuts. Right, okay, with the box open, let's see what's inside. We got some aluminium siding, or aluminum if you're from that neck of the woods. Oh good god, this is heavy. Right, carefully put this down because that's the important bit. We have got the base, which has the hot end, the screen, and the main board in it, I believe. And there's all the arms, and it appears that the drive belts are all already attached and bundled up. So I have no idea how difficult this is going to be to put together. I'm slightly concerned that I'm going to tear something off or pull out the wrong bits. So I'm going to be very, very careful with this. Ooh, filament, but a little reel of it. None of this sort of like 10 feet of unbound stuff. We've got a proper 200 gram mini reel of filament. I wish they sold those separately. I like those. It'd be really useful for smaller printers and smaller spaces. And there's the top with a load of wires on them. It looks like that is where the pulleys and posts clip into. Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is, but I'm sure we'll find out later on. Put those aside on my little back table here, where the precious stuff is kept. What is this? Oh, yay! It is the actual extruder and stepper motor. That looks interesting. I think that goes at the top. And then a large Bowden tube goes down from the top onto the hot end. But we'll have a look at that later on. All will become clear later, I imagine. So much bubble wrap and packaging. But it's a good thing. Not for the environment, of course, but for the actual printer itself. Right, first things first, let's start removing this stuff which is around the arms of the printer. Big chunk of polystyrene. That can go on the pile. And let's see what we've got here before I start assembling. Ooh dear, I don't want to pull any of this stuff free. Doesn't look too bad actually. I mean, arms there. I think they go on the rails, which are separate there. Hotbed is, it's got a nice safety layer over it, so I can just peel those off. Okay, let's start with the rails. This is what basically the stepper motors either side of the arms clip onto. Slight adjustment of angle there so you can actually see what I'm doing. Oh god, this is all covered in cellophane. Bloody hate cellophane. But at least they're not pre-greased. I'm looking at this and thinking that maybe that big tube of grease was given basically because most printers like the Ender 3 or the Elegoo Mars, things that come pre-greased. I think these ones haven't, so I'm going to have to grease these poles later on. Oh, come on. Find an end, find an end, find an end. Sounds like my daughter is causing no end of mischief downstairs. Right. That's the first pole in. Okay, with those in, we can start putting the arms around them, starting with the one nearest me, and then I'll work my way around. I'm going to do this in fast motion because this takes forever. And with that done, it's time to put the top on. And there are six holes at the top where these poles just go straight into. So just line these up and get those attached so we can start getting the bands attached as well. And once the poles are in place, we can then pull the bands tight, and there's a puller on the end of each one of them, and we can attach those to the top into the receptacles next to where we inserted the posts. So just untie all of these. Please forgive the sweatpants. It was very, very late at night and my child had just been ill of my jeans. So you attach the pulleys to the top here, and then you screw on the bolt at the top. And this tightens up the bands and makes the whole thing a lot more rigid. Just got to do the other ones, tighten them up a bit, move up the motors, make sure that they are not slack. And I'll just do the other ones here. Now we just attach the wires from each one of the corners into the bottom are connectors for each one of these motors, and this will mean you can then run the motors up and down the poles. These poles of course need to be lubricated, and we're going to put the edges on later on once we've got this set up. Just tighten up the Allen keys here for each one of the poles. And then attach a stepper motor to the top hole on the left hand side. And with that done, it is time to attach the cable that runs from the top of the hot end to the top of the printer's chassis. And you just screw on the cable that runs from the main board at the bottom all the way to the top there, and then down to the hot end. There's also a small free cable that comes out of the side of the main cable, and that just fits through a little hole in the top and plugs straight into the side of the motor. The stepper motor you've just attached to the top of the body, and that provides it with power and instructions. And with that done, you attach the Bowden tube to the extrude at the top here. Push it all the way in, and that runs all the way down to the hot end. And with that done, we just attach the three sidings. There's two nuts at the top and two nuts at the bottom for each one, and those fit on fairly easily. You just slot them in the slots and screw them in. Then we just need to put together the spool holder that attaches to the top of this. It's a simple 2 screws into a bracket, and then it screws onto the top, so nothing too complicated here. We jump forward in time about 30 minutes. I have painted on the grease onto each one of the rails. I didn't show this because it's really dull. You just squirt it onto a palette, use a small paintbrush or whatever you want to do, and then squidge it up and down. And now what I'm doing is I'm attaching the bed leveler. This basically is just a magnet that clips onto it. It has a sensor on there. It attaches onto the hot end very, very easily, and you attach it to just a little spare clip which is located on the printer. You then turn it on and it should auto level. Then you can take it off, removing the sticky plastic off the front of a screen. Gotta love that. But yeah, you then take the bed leveler off and you should never have to level your bed again, or if you do, it's very rare. Now this is the European plug, the UK plug. According to the instructions, this thing is set by default to 220. It says so in the instructions right here, and if I plug this thing in and it explodes because it's been set to 110, then they lie to me and I shall be very, very upset. But yeah, according to it, it says here, black and white, 220 by default. And wait for the bang. No, I'm kidding. I did actually check to make sure it is on 220. I'm not an idiot. So yeah, this thing is powering up. It seems absolutely fine. Let's run the auto bed leveling. Now I'm pretty sure I read in the instructions or on the blurb somewhere this thing runs quietly. It really, really does not. I mean, 3D printers don't bother me that much, the noise of them, but this thing is fairly loud. I'm sure if I replace some of the fans on it with some quiet ones and maybe replace some of the gears on here, it would be a bit quieter, but stock out of the box. This thing does sound like you throwing some golf clubs down some concrete stairs. But it seems to run smooth. Let's let it do its thing. And with that complete, let's use the auto filament loading function. I just put it in the top there, press the button, and it should pull it through fairly simply. Now, as of all printers, once you've done the auto leveling, you have to adjust the Z offset slightly just to make sure that it's the right distance away from the heat bed. Just a couple of clicks down, get it as close as I can before it actually crushes the filament and starts under extruding. But no, that should be about right. It seems to be printing now, and the filament seems to be adhering. I think I'll leave it like that and see how this goes. And with that complete, let's see how this went. Oh, that's lovely. It just pulls straight off the heat bed. I mean, that was fairly solidly attached, but it just comes straight off. So yeah, I love glass heat beds. Never usually get them to work, so I'm very, very glad that this one is a good quality one and the filament actually adheres to it. So let's give this a try. This is the first test. It's a nut and bolt, and there's absolutely no resistance here whatsoever. The threading on the screw is lovely, and the threading on the nut also perfect. Just goes straight through, no issue whatsoever. Very, very nice print in place, no support needed. And yeah, this is a great, great print. So yeah, it's a lovely first try for the printer. Let's try the next one. Yeah, a lovely, great print. And yeah, the writing on the side of it's good, the layer lines are nice, and yeah, it's a very nice print. And the final one is a print in place articulated elephant as well. FLsun seem to have a nice thing about elephants. But yeah, this should just print in place and be articulated and work straight off the hotbed. So let's give this a try as well. And with those done, let's have a close look at the prints. So yeah, a nice selection of test prints here. Let's start with a nut and bolt. This printed off very, very quickly and very, very easily. Say no supports were needed, it just printed straight off it. As soon as I adjusted the Z height, as you can see on the end of that nut there's a little bit of distortion where it started off printing badly because it was just a little bit too high up, but a second I adjusted the Z height, just down by a few clicks, this thing started to adhere to the hotbed and made a lovely, lovely print. So say there is no restriction here, doesn't feel like anything's blocking it, it just screws straight on, and yeah, this is a very nice demonstration of how detailed you can print on this printer and how quickly. Yeah, nice finish, very few layer lines, and yeah, with a little bit of tidying up, it is absolutely perfect. Okay, so let's move on to the next print. The next one is the FLsun logo on the side of an elephant. The lettering is lovely, and the eye, if I just line it up correctly, there we go, you can see my finger through it there. Just goes straight through with no obstructions whatsoever. The writing is clear and there's no stringing anywhere through this thing. So yeah, very, very happy with that one as well. It looks lovely. And finally, let's have a look at the articulated elephant. This thing just printed straight off the hotbed, and yep, all moves very, very nicely. Head moves, the front legs and back legs move, and the trunk is also articulated slightly. So yeah, I'm very impressed with these first prints. And yeah, I'm very, very happy with this printer. Okay, well, I was wrong about the complicated. This may be the easiest 3D printer I've ever built. It came sort of 90% complete. You got the bottom section here, the 3 posts, top section, and all the belts and cables came nicely bundled up, easy to undo, easy to attach, easy to fix and tighten. It auto levels, absolutely fantastic. I really, really enjoyed doing it. And the best thing was, because it auto levels, I ran the auto leveling and it immediately printed. Not one print failed on this thing. I did 5 or 6 prints just purely from scratch, out of the box, no changing, barely any adjustments, and it just printed beautifully. So, talking about prints, let's have a quick look at them. I like the little elephant, but I think my favourite one is definitely just the nut and bolt. So simple and so easy. There's not a single piece of over or under extrusion. There was barely any stringing whatsoever, and the stringing I did have, I fixed by just adjusting the temperature slightly. And it's so loose and easy. It doesn't wobble at all, but it's not tight either. So it's an absolutely perfect 3D model and a lovely print of it. I have no idea what it's used for. It's just a test print, but it does show how quickly this thing prints and how exactly. I mean, this thing printed in about an hour or so. Whereas if you load it on Cura and check out how long it takes on the Ender 3, it'll be 4 or 5 hours. So yeah, this thing is fast. It's not quiet. That is one thing I say about it is when they sell this printer, it says, oh, it's got a silent motor. It's nice and quiet. It sounds like two robots having a fight in a dumpster. It is very, very loud. I re-greased the poles either side just to make sure. And yeah, even with a lot of grease on them and the belts tightened and all the nuts and bolts tightened up so they're all snug, it still makes a lot of noise. But apart from the noise, 3D printed noise has never bothered me. I don't work in the same with my 3D print. This is my little 3D print lab. I love it here. And yeah, but when I want to play computer games or listen to music or just generally relax, I go and do that downstairs in my front room. So I don't have to worry about these things clanking away upstairs. Other than that though, it's a good price, easy to put together, printed straight off. It's got lovely build quality to it. It's about 4 feet bloody tall, so that's a slight exaggeration. It's about three feet tall, so it's not a small printer, and it's got a big print bed. So yeah, this thing takes up about the surface area of the Ender 3S1 Pro, and it's about double the height of it. So you need a bit of space, but if you've got the space, chuck this thing on the side, set it up, and it should do no wrong. I'm going to run this for the next few months, and I'll probably do a I've been living with a Delta printer for 6 months, this is what happened kind of video. But until that time, I'm loving this and very much enjoying it. So yeah, I mean, I'm not paid by FLsun. As I say, this isn't a commercial video. I'm not trying to sell this thing to you. I bought it because I liked it, and I'm telling you what I think about it. Honest opinion. It's a very good printer, and I'm enjoying it very, very much. I bought it straight off the FLsun website. Turned up, ordered it on the 1st of January. Turned up around the 8th. So yeah, lovely delivery time. I mean, there's a few comments on the website saying that, oh, it took ages for it to arrive. I didn't have that much experience myself. Other journeys may vary. I'm in the UK here, and it just came straight from the UK warehouse and arrived at my doorstep. Undamaged, unmolested, and very well packed. So, thanks for watching 3D Printed Soup. Stay happy and safe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.